and then Tipu talk.
Thank you, Rati. First of all, let me say I'm very impressed to see so many of our young people here who are not balkanized and are not suffering from identity politics, which we as, at least my generation, is very heavily into. So it's nice to see folk who don't worry about who they are, where they came from, where their hometown was, or you know, what their religion is. So that's a very big deal, and I want you all to give yourselves a hand, because 1,000 years ago when I came to the United States, Indira Gandhi came to visit, and she said, you know, I see the people, our people in the United States, suffering from identity politics, and she said, I want you to start the Federation of Indians in America. So with a lot of enthusiasm at NYU, which is where I went to graduate school after my undergraduate school, FIA was born. I think I'm trying to put this together in the late 60s, early 70s, in the basement of 2 Washington Square North, where I was the sort of the RA, the resident assistant, you know, but it was the religious center, and my field is religion, and that's what I studied. So for me, it's very, very heartening to see this, because, you know, the FIA, even though it claims to represent everyone, it does what old people like me do. You know, it doesn't do the real getting together that I see out here. So Ratibua asked me to give a little overview of the Bhutanese. My son, who is 36, he managed to crash into Bhutan, and I told him that, you know, I've met some Bhutanese in the Bronx, and he said, no, they're Nepali. I said, no, they're Bhutanese. And he managed to spend some time in Bhutan, you know, as a party crasher, and then he got kicked out. But he believes, like the Bhutanese people, that these are refugees are Nepalese and not Bhutanese, which really shook me up, because the Bhutanese were kicked out by the Bhutanese refugees were kicked out because of 2 major issues. One was religion. They were Hindu in a Vajrayana Buddhist country. And secondly, they spoke Nepali, which almost every Bhutanese speaks Nepali.
Yeah, they do.
Even the royal family in Bhutan, when they get together by themselves, they speak Nepali. But otherwise, you know, the national language is Jonka, right?
Yeah.
So Jonka is a very difficult language to speak. Anyway, so they were kicked out because of this, and resettled in a United Nations High Commission for Refugees camp in the Tarai of Nepal with about 250,000 people. Now these Nepalese Bhutanese, can I say that?
Yeah.
Not Sampa people. The lowland Bhutanese of Nepalese origin are called Sampa. They were brought in, except for Thakur Bhai's family that arrived in Nepal in 1624, they were brought in as indentured labor in the late 19th century, about the 1890s or so, by the British to do the tea plantations and clear the forests, and later they were involved in building the road infrastructure and so on. And then, I'd say in the last 30 years or something, that the major pressure started to, how long would you say?
1985.
Since 1985. Since 1985, Bhutan then suddenly declared that, you know, that Dzongkha is the national language, and Vajrayana Buddhism is the national religion, and unfortunately, you know, people like Thakur Bhai and Sudam Bhai out here, they were suddenly considered other in their own country. So with that as background, let me introduce TP, Thakur Prasad Mishra. He's a journalist by profession. He ended up in the United Nations High Commission for Refugees camp at age 6. Got his education there, and then his brother helped you get some higher education in communications and journalism in Kathmandu. And so we are fortunate that he's a reporter, and Rathi kindly gave him with his first camera after his 8 years of journalism. Last week, right?
Yeah.
So his first blog has a picture of Rathi and he together. So tell them a little bit about your experience, about when you came here and what you're doing and so on.
Thank you.